Good evening, everyone. In the news tonight, residents of the Mahoning Valley are praying for sunshine, hoping to dry out from the latest deluge that flooded basements and turned streets into wading pools. 21's Bill Marshall reports.
Flood warnings have been posted along the Mahoning, but even the neighborhoods away from the riverbanks are saturated. Close to 2 inches of rain has fallen since midnight. In Warren, streets were closed, many of them after motorists had tried and failed to cross sudden streams.
Try to go to Lane and Main, see if you can do something over there.
The phone started ringing shortly before 9. Non-stop complaints flooding Warren's operations department.
Some people are very patient and some people are very irate, but we can't push buttons and say stop raining, you know. We're trying to maintain it the best we can.
Street swimming is almost an annual event in this Warren neighborhood, and you can also hear the sound of gasoline engines pumping basements dry. Last summer was the exception. Milton Bockelman's basement stayed dry. Now he's ready to invest in a pump.
I had about a foot of water within about an hour. Once it started coming up, when this area was laid out originally, it was 8 or 10 inch rains probably would have been enough to handle it. But since there's been so many improvements put in here, there's just no way can it cope with what we have.
This really gets you upset?
That's an understatement.
The overloaded sewer system started to catch up by mid-afternoon.
There's nothing you can really do in a situation like this because of the downpour as big as it was and as much water as we've had. So just an act of God. You can't help it.
In Warren, Bill Marshall, 21 Action News.
Today's rainfall could also set back the summer construction season in the valley for at least a week or more. The third wettest May in local history has already slowed some major projects to a crawl, and there's been little improvement since. The workday washouts are also holding up paychecks.
We'll recover as soon as the weather's nice, but some big work has been shut down. And the Federal Plaza, the east end of the Federal Plaza in Youngstown's a big job. Associated Products in Vienna's another big job's been shut down. And then all turnpike work, sewer work, road work, highway work, all that's been knocked off.
County road crews should be paving roads and clearing ditches in June, but the rain has kept them pinned down too. If all goes as expected, tax incentives will help a Warren firm reopen an old sinter plant in Youngstown. And while tax abatements once stirred controversy, 21's Yvonne Maloshian says that is no longer the case.
Youngstown Board of Education members were receptive to the city's plans to offer tax abatements for an $8 million project. Warren Consolidated Industries intends to pump the money into the old LTV sinter plant in Briar Hill, reactivating the facility for the first time in 3 years. In order to lure the 100 new steel jobs, the incentives offered will save the company about $78,000 a year.
Most of the expense is going to go on air pollution problems, EPA problems with the plant. We've negotiated a 100% tax abatement for 4 years, a 50% for 3 years after that, and 25% for 3 more years.
The abatements will not lower current tax revenue.
The abatement on the real estate would only apply to increased valuation as a result of the improvements being undertaken.
We feel that the graduated formula here is something we could live with and join in partnership with the city in trying to revitalize the area.
The firm is also applying for a $1.5 million federal grant to complete financing for the project. Whether or not it's been secured won't be known until the end of September. It's only then that the city will know when the Youngstown Sinter plant will begin operation. Yvonne Maloshian, 21 Action News.
Youngstown City Council is meeting at this hour, and of the items it's expected to consider is an ordinance outlawing any waste disposal plants within city limits. 21's Lauren Schultz is standing by live with an update. Lauren, how would this ordinance work?
Well, in a few moments, the mayor is going to tell us exactly how this ordinance is going to work. What it's, the council tonight made a motion to pass it, so it looks like it will be unanimously passed tonight. It will prohibit medical waste, landfills, and transfer stations in the city of Youngstown. Mayor Ongaro is with me now, and he's going to explain exactly how this is going to work.
Well, basically, I'm just saying I'm tired of it. They're taking advantage of us in New York and New Jersey, and they're bringing in trains now. They want, sure enough, they want to fly it in. So I'm saying let's stop it. Let's try to solve our own problems, and ultimately, it is a problem we have to deal with. But I don't want to solve New York and New Jersey problems.
Right. tell me, there have been some people who have been interested in opening transfer stations. Will this completely stop them?
As far as I'm concerned, it's a dead issue now. It will stop them, and the only amendment that we might make somewhere along the line is to solve, let's say, Youngstown's problems or the county's problems. We should work together. We're doing that with this 592 committee. But see, these people are taking advantage of us in this area because there are no regulations, so they're coming in from New York and New Jersey, taking advantage of that law, and I'm saying, I don't want zoning loopholes. I don't want any of that to be a problem. I'm just saying, no, it's over with.
Thank you very much, Mayor. So the city is making sure that it's covering all bases to make sure that this does not happen in our area, to have landfills and industrial waste coming into the area. Just as the mayor said, he doesn't want it to become a dumping ground for New York and New Jersey. Back to you, Glenn, in the studio.
Thank you, Lauren. In other news, on the second day of testimony in the James Williams trial, jurors heard the 18-year-old give a tearful confession on audio tape. Williams tells police of an argument he had with family members in their North Jackson home last March. The youth is accused of bludgeoning to death his father, stepmother, and 5-year-old sister. Besides the tape statement, Williams also made a written statement to authorities the night he was apprehended.
Before my stepmother came in, I hit my father with a hammer again. She tried to calm me down. I didn't know what to do, so I hit her with the hammer in the neck and the head. She fell to the floor. They were just laying there, and my sister came from upstairs. I don't know what I was doing, and she was screaming, so I hit her with my fist. They were all just laying there, so I went upstairs. I didn't know what to do, so I put on some clothes and took the car and left.
In opening statements, the defense contended that Williams tried to escape the violence of his father, but was unable to do so. Jury selection began this afternoon in the kidnapping trial of a father and son from Girard. Gerald Zuppo and his 18-year-old son, Jerry, are charged with last July's disappearance of Youngstown teenager Marcel Byers. Byers has not been seen since he was allegedly abducted by the Zuppos from a north side street. Jury selection began today after Judge William Hauser denied defense motions that the father and son have separate trials and that statements young Zuppo made to police officers in Florida when he was arrested not be allowed to be used as evidence. 4 jurors had been tentatively seated when court adjourned this afternoon. A 2-car crash in southern Mahoning County has left a Youngstown woman hospitalized in critical condition. The Ohio Highway Patrol says 31-year-old Lynn Parker of East Warren Avenue failed to yield the right-of-way as her vehicle entered the intersection of routes 14 and 534. Her car was hit by a van, forced off the road, and into 2 utility poles. Charges are pending. Still ahead on 21 Action News at 6, Youngstown police have no luck in efforts to sell off some confiscated poker machines.
When it comes to buying, building, or remodeling the family home, it's amazing how individual needs and desires can be so different. This is one reason why most area residents turn to the specialists at the Home Savings and Loan Company. Home Savings gives you valuable guidelines to aid your decisions. Then, Home Savings offers a variety of loan programs to fit your financial situation and to avoid excessive payment burdens. The Home Savings and Loan Company has the answers to help put happiness in your home life. Visit your nearest Home Savings office.
Get close to a SeaWorld you've never seen before with the spectacular new Royal Lipizzan Stallion Show, featuring the world's most famous leaping and dancing white stallions. Get close with the new Wild Wings Birds of Prey Show, starring nature's amazing airborne hunters. All that and the action-packed Ski Cattail Show, plus Shamu and Amu in Shamu Celebration.
Close by the sea, and enduring centuries of New England's harsh winters, stands the great American home of John Paul Jones. For over 16 years, it's been maintained with Sears Weather Beater exterior paint. Today, we're repainting with new advanced formula Weather Beater, the most durable paint we've ever offered, to protect it through the winters ahead. Sears Weather Beater paint, preferred by more homeowners for great American homes like yours.
Our stores are jammed, so we put up the tents and moved our entire inventory into our parking lots at record-breaking sale prices. Don't miss the gigantic parking lot sale at Value City Furniture.
If your light beer tastes like it comes from this bottle, taste the light beer in this bottle. Jenny Light.
A new pickup for under $150 a month? You bet. This new Nissan Hardbody is only $149 a month with no money down. I want to see you today at Greenwood Nissan, just 1 mile south of the Southern Park Mall.
Former McDonald's restaurant owners Albert Cavelli and Richard Novak are to appear in federal court tomorrow afternoon after striking a deal with the U.S. Justice Department. The two Warren men were indicted just yesterday for allegedly skimming about $1 million from the fast food chain locally, and both pled guilty to a pair of tax evasion charges in exchange for 9 others being dropped. However, the arrangement must still be approved by a federal judge. The city of Youngstown had hoped to pick up a fast $30,000 or more today, but 21's Dick Skelton reports it didn't work out that way.
For 5 years, Youngstown has had about 50 illegal video poker machines gathering dust in the basement of the annex, all confiscated during a series of raids in May 1984. Most of the machines still work, and there are places in the country where they're legal, so the city put them up for bid, hoping to get close to $1,000 apiece for them. But when the time came to open those bids today, no one wanted to buy.
And other communities evidently have had bids, and they've had people come in and bid on them. I'm not so sure why in Youngstown that we don't have a bidder.
To buy these poker machines, a bidder would need to have a federal dealer's license and sign an affidavit that they would not be resold or used anywhere in Ohio. It could be that the half dozen or so persons who've expressed an interest in the machines since they were confiscated simply didn't get the word that Youngstown is now ready to sell. So the city will try again, but only one more time.
If we don't have a bidder, let's say the second time around, maybe just dispose of them.
Like Miles did, take the hatchet.
Yeah, get the sledgehammers out.
Dick Skelton, 21 Action News.
The U.S. House has failed to override President Bush's veto of the minimum wage bill, and at least one area congressman isn't too happy with the outcome.
Well, naturally, I'm disappointed. I've spent many months, a lot of time and energy trying to raise the minimum wage. I think men and women are entitled to an honest day's wage for an honest day's labor. But I still think that this is not the end of the debate. I've already today begun discussions with my friends on both sides of the aisle.
And NBC Nightly News will have more on that veto override attempt coming up shortly. Children with learning disabilities are not necessarily handicapped. 21's Lauren Schultz reports their story to dispel some of the myths.
It helps me because I can dictate and stuff, put what I have in my brain down onto paper.
Matt Patori, a 4th grader, suffers from dysgraphia, the inability to write.
He has a lot to offer, but we must find a way for him to get it out.
Mrs. Gowron has taught LD kids for 10 years. They're special, she says, and some are even gifted.
I'm learning to be an amateur radio.
Are you a ham radio operator?
Mm-hmm.
His love of electronics will hopefully lead to a career. Most LD students get involved in school activities like Character Day, where each student portrays his favorite historical person. Today, Matt Patori is portraying Thomas Edison, and believe it or not, Thomas Edison was learning disabled.
The child must have 1,000 points to earn.
Other LD kids, like Charity Lynch, are not battling a physical handicap. They're simply experiencing a learning problem with a particular subject. For Charity, it's math.
Before I was in here, it was roll. Like I had a C around there somewhere.
What are you getting now?
I'm getting O's, which stands for excellent, because that's what Mrs. Gowron gives.
Teachers are starting to recognize student potential, lowering the dropout rate, and the children themselves in award ceremonies are recognized for their accomplishments. Reporting from New Middletown, Lauren Schultz, 21 Action News.
And time now for the weather with